this section we'll be talking about informal commands, or commands that we would use with people that we have an informal relationship with, so friends or family members. So now that we've established who we would use these commands with, let's talk about how we form the verb so that it conveys a command for these people. So, first of all, we have affirmative commands, or telling someone to do something. So if I wanted to tell a friend or family member to do something, as far as the form of the verb goes, all I need to do is use the él, ella, usted form of the verb. So pretty straightforward. And that's demonstrated here in this little table. So if I want to tell a friend or family member using the verb hablar, if I want to tell them to speak or speak up, I would say habla. Using an ER verb such as comer, I would say come. So those are affirmative commands. We simply use the usted form of the verb. Even if it's a stem changing verb, it will still get the stem change. Okay. Now, if it's a negative command, if I want to tell a friend or family member not to do something, we have a couple of steps. So up here, it says negative informal commands. Step 1, take the yo form of the verb. For example, hablo. The reason that we do this first step is because of stem changing verbs. If I follow this step, I'll get the right form of the verb for stem changing verbs. So if the verb were volver, the yo form of that verb would be vuelvo. That vuelve is the part that I need for the command. Step 2, after I have my yo form of the verb, I want to give the opposite to ending. So for example, I would say no hables. The es is the opposite to ending. So instead of an ar ending, we're giving it an er or ir ending. Okay, and that's demonstrated down here in this table. So we could say no hables. If the verb were comer and I wanted to say don't eat, I would say no comas. Okay. So some examples. Down here we have corre, no corras, habla, no hables, lee, no leas, estudia, no estudies, escucha, no escuches. Okay. One thing that we need to mention is, where do I put a pronoun? All right. So if I'm using a pronoun with a command, so read it or don't read it. Okay. Where do the pronouns go? So commands follow different rules when it comes to pronouns. You've probably already learned where to put certain pronouns. Pay close attention, as these rules are going to be different from the rules that you've learned previously with regard to pronouns. So if I have a command, let's take a look at number 5. It says lee. If I want to say read it, it's going to follow the same order that we do in English. So I would say léelo, right? And it will be attached to the end. Okay? So léelo. Number 6, if I want to give a negative command, don't read it. Instead of putting, whereas before in number 5 we put it at the end, now we want to put it right before the verb. So if I want to say don't read it, no lo leas. No lo leas. Don't read it. Okay. So study, for example, if I wanted to say study it, and the pronoun that is being used is lo, I would say estudialo. Or don't study it would be no lo estudies. So that's the position of pronouns that we should be aware of. Now, the last thing is, unfortunately, we do have irregular verbs that just break convention and don't follow these rules. Some high-frequency, rule-breaking verbs are the following: decir, hacer, ir, poner, dar, estar, ser, tener, salir, and venir. And there are commands: di, no digas; haz, no hagas; ve, no vayas; pon, no pongas. Again, with a pronoun, a quick example. If I wanted to say put it on the table, I might say ponlo en la mesa. So put it. or no lo pongas en la mesa. So don't put it on the table. Da, no des. Está, no estés. Sé, no seas. Ten, no tengas. Sal, no salgas. Ven, and no vengas. Right? Just like anything, this will take some practice to internalize and get it to stick. So be sure and spend some time on this information, practice it, quiz yourself. Think of commands or things that you might say to others and jot them down. Okay? If you tell your child to do or not to do certain things, see if you can, based on these rules that we've covered, figure out what the command would be. All right? So those are informal commands. Study them, and that's it.